As a rail fan, you often have very few options as far as ways to figure out where trains are. Waiting around for a long time is common. Most common aid is the radio, but that doesn't always give you the whole picture. Today we'll take a quick look at how I use Defect Detectors and ATCS Monitor to chase trains. ATCS Monitor is a passive program that takes signals sent over the air and converts them to a graphical format where you can look at the dispatcher display. Obviously, this gives you a great view into what's going on at any given time. However, before you run off looking for it, ATCS as a protocol is falling out of use as PTC-based solutions gain traction. In Illinois, BNSF has completely moved away from monitorable protocols, and some UP lines have as well. ATCS is also not in use on lines that don't use CTC. If your line is track warrant or DTC territory, you're out of luck. For our excursion today, we'll use the CN Leithton sub, the former Elgin, Joliet, and Eastern. This outer suburban beltline is CN's bypass around the heavily congested city of Chicago. Today we're at Shoe Factory Road, milepost 41.9. Immediately to the south of the crossing is South Sutton, the southern end of a 2-mile-long siding. CN wants to extend this another 4 miles south and make the segment 2 main tracks, but this process is still in the very early stages. Now, for our purposes, the simplest way we access this crossing is to park in the adjacent forest preserve and walk via a paved but hilly trail. The walk from the parking lot takes about 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how fast I walk, so there is some intricate timing involved here. Pulling up the ATCS display, we see this train stopped at Eola. I know from watching this display that it was a northbound, but you can see it has no green line, so it has not been cleared further north, which for our purposes is to the left. I know from studying past traffic patterns that for a train traveling at track speed, it takes about 30 minutes to travel from JB Tower in West Chicago to South Sutton. I park in the lot and decide to wait until it's cleared across to JB before I start walking. I can see a few minutes later the train has been given a path on the other side of JB, but is still stopped south of the UP Geneva sub. It still hasn't gone anywhere yet. Finally, the dispatcher lines it through and it gets cleared all the way up to Munger. Because of how interlockings work, trains don't usually get actually cleared through them until they actually approach. I start getting my things together and head on over. Not long after clearing JB Tower, the train hits the defect detector at milepost 33.8.
CN detector, mile 33.8. Northbound.
For trains traveling at track speed, I know I have about 12 minutes from when the rear end passes the detector. Luckily, CN's detectors are very detailed and read out direction of travel and speed after the train has passed.
CN detector, mile 33.8. Northbound, no defects. Length of train 8037. Temperature 57F. Total axles 380. Speed 34. Detector out.
I get to my spot about 5 minutes before the train and get the camera set up. I see on ATCS that the train has now been cleared through Munger and is en route. Not too long after I hear it coming, the gates activate, and IC lettered EF644H, a -9, pulls an unknown stack train northbound. Actually a relative rarity, not once did I ever hear this train identified on the radio. so I have no idea where it was going or where it came from.
North, public 45, no restrictions though.
After it passes, I begin the walk back to the parking lot. About halfway through the walk, it activates the defect detector at milepost 46.2.
CN detector, mile 46.2. Northbound. CN detector, mile 46.2. Northbound. No defects. Length of train 8027. Temperature 52F. Total axles 380. Speed 21. Detector out. 750 north stop vacation. Very
Looking at ATCS, I see there are two other moves lined, but neither are particularly close, and I had already done quite a bit of walking, scouting locations for future shoots, so I retired for the day. Defect detectors, even if they're basic ones like what UP and BNSF use, can be time savers. If you can hear two of them, you'll be able to track movements quite easily. Whichever one sounds first, that's the direction the train's coming from. All you need is a radio and the road channel of your favorite railroad. You can find locations of defect detectors a couple different places, including employee timetables, or the crowdsourced defectdetector.net that features an excellent map. Also note that not every defect detector reads out every time a train passes it. Eagle-eyed viewers may be able to spot a bar-like object running seemingly through the rails here at Shoe Factory Road. This is actually a dragging equipment detector, not a hotbox detector, and only sounds if it detects something, which is why we didn't hear it. I'm not sure if this was here before CN's takeover, but I would suspect not. Sutton's siding used to be significantly shorter, and this part of the line was single track. The siding extension and addition of signals, I believe, took place after CN took control. Expect to see more of the Leithton sub in the future, as I plan on taking a deeper dive into the history and actual operations. I also have another video in the works that I'm very excited about, and only hope that it will turn out as I envision it, but that's a story for another day. Until then, stay safe. If your weather is as nice as ours was this day, get outside. And thank you for watching the Northeastern Illinois Railfan YouTube channel.